It's happening again, folks. After one of the most cursed seasons in Toronto Raptors history, the injury bug is picking up once again, as now Bruce Brown is having surgery on his knee, and this has serious implications on the team's rotations going into next season, which has been a massive topic of discussion in regards to development of certain players, and frankly, the biggest topic of discussion when it comes to Bruce Brown, his future with this Toronto Raptors team. As we saw, Woj initially said when Bruce Brown re-signed with the squad, or the team picked up his team option, that team option was picked up at its big money to essentially facilitate other trades, likely moves either this offseason, which didn't happen, or during the trade deadline in this upcoming season. So we're going to break down all the implications this has on the Toronto Raptors and what this means for the squad going forward. But before we dive into that, folks, again, if you're part of the over 50% that hasn't subscribed to the channel, make sure you guys hit that sub button so you don't miss a single thing with this Toronto Raptors team. And frankly, this was, this is what it was. Basically, news came out today from Josh Lindbergh, from multiple sources. There's a press release that Bruce Brown underwent an arthroscopic surgical procedure. Goodness gracious, I can't say that too fast. But on his right knee, per the Toronto Raptors, he'll be reevaluated in 3 weeks, which means he'll miss the starting training camp at a minimum. Now, what does this mean for Bruce Brown? Because, again, we saw Bruce Brown last year. He was dealing with some knee issues. He was dealing with some mobility things because he was regarded as a guy who was supposed to be more of one of those, not necessarily elite three-point shooters, but definitely a guy that could defend, certainly rebound, be a hustle guy for this Toronto Raptors squad. And things just didn't really work out, and half the time, he didn't look as mobile as he once did with the Denver Nuggets, with the Brooklyn Nets in years past. Didn't watch him too much with the Indiana Pacers, but essentially, people were a bit disappointed with what went on. Now, we knew he had knee issues. We knew he had these sort of injuries happening, so, maybe during the offseason, a bit of rest, things would get better. Things would improve. Things would get back to where he was prior to injury. And again, his stats weren't horrible with the Toronto Raptors, 11 points per game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, but we were hopeful that he'd be able to have more of an impact after being really the centerpiece player. Again, the centerpiece, yes, was the draft picks. There's no debating, no regarding that, but essentially, Bruce Brown being the centerpiece player in that Pascal Siakam trade, we were hoping for a bit more. We were hoping for a little step up, a little increase in terms of production, and it didn't really happen. But after an offseason of resting and stuff, maybe things could improve. But things didn't seem to get better, I guess. Because if they did, he wouldn't be getting knee surgery this late in the game. Training camp just a couple weeks away. Media day just a couple weeks away. Bruce Brown is now getting this surgical procedure done, and it's reevaluated in 3 weeks. It's not, hey, you're guaranteed coming back. And as someone that's had knee surgery, I'm sure a lot of people have watching this video and stuff, it's tough to come back from knee surgery, regardless of what it is. Cartilage, whether it's a ligament thing, whatever you're doing. Right? It's tough to come back within 3 weeks. So I imagine the start of the season where at least, even if he's suited up, if he's in a Toronto Raptors jersey, like on the court in the games at the start of the year, I don't think he's going to be, fully integrated into the team. I don't think he's going to be fully out there in the squad. And basically what this means, what this projects on my end is, Grady Dick is going to be that guy in the starting lineup now for sure. Again, we heard, broke it down in the video earlier today, right? Ochai Agbaji is also a guy that's probably going to get some consideration just based off the impact he had on the defensive end. And frankly, the fact that he was a starter for a large chunk of those games last season. But I think this ensures that Grady Dick is going to be the starter. I thought it was really realistically going to be between Bruce Brown and Grady Dick in terms of that fifth starting spot outside of Immanuel Quickley, Barrett, Scottie Barnes, and then Jakob Poeltl. But now Grady Dick seems to be locked into that spot. And I think that's exactly where he should be. Now for a young developing squad, right? Grady Dick averaged 8.5 points per game last season, 2.2 rebounds, 1.1 assists, shot 37% from the three-point line throughout the entirety of the year, but after the Pascal Siakam trade, when he was getting more run, getting more opportunities, he shot close to 40% from the three-point line, and on the entire season, even after that sort of cold, slow start, shot 46% from corner threes. Grady Dick is already one of the NBA's best three-point shooters. He put on some muscle in the offseason, as we've seen in Summer League and in league pictures that came out from his recent workouts. And frankly, I'm just excited to see what he's going to be able to do, with a more extended sort of run, with a little bit of opportunity now for the Toronto Raptors team. There's also some footage of him kind of working out, showing off the muscles, showing off the, out there in the tank top, getting some shots up, getting some drives, and we can kind of take a look at the video footage, make it a little bit bigger here on the screen. But And he's working on his off the dribble stuff. We've known Grady Dick also to be one of those slashers, right? Because again, the real debate right now is going to be between Ochai Agbaji as well as Grady Dick for that backup spot. Maybe Jakob Poeltl if he shocks everyone out there at this year's sort of training camp preseason and stuff. But the fact that Grady Dick has improved on the defensive end, and I said it from the jump, even when he was looking more skinny, even when he was looking a little bit smaller for this Toronto Raptors team, early on in the season, he was doing all the right things. He was making all the right cuts. He was getting some rebounds, and now we're seeing him again in this highlight footage that's getting pulled up here now at this point. Again, he's taking shots off of the dribble. He's using his muscles. He's taking those shots, kind of the paint. Again, not the craziest competition, but, summertime scrims. We can look at Ben Simmons and call him a superstar during these summertime scrims and stuff like that. But it's still a positive to see him doing these types of things here now, again, with all this stuff on loop. But again, with Bruce Brown potentially out of the picture for the lineups, at least at the start of the season, I do want to at least give some discussion, give some chatter, give some buzz to Ochai Agbaji, because again, he's had some opportunities over the course of his career. Was with the Cleveland Cavaliers, things didn't really work out there, got traded in the Donovan Mitchell trade. That was what it was. The Cavs dealt him away for the process because they had to. They had to pick up Donovan Mitchell, give away some decent pieces for the Utah Jazz, a team that was in a weird spot, a mid-level team, still had the opportunity to develop, didn't really find his footing there with the Utah Jazz, and now last season did definitely prove he's one of the more elite defenders out there in the NBA, but the lack of three-point shooting, again, shot like 20 in the 20s in terms of three-point shooting percentage last year for the Toronto Raptors squad. That's a big sort of red flag, especially when our team, if we look at our depth chart, if we look at the kind of roster that we have constructed right now, right, in that starting lineup, we have RJ Barrett, who again has improved from the three-point line, Scottie Barnes, who has certainly improved from the three-point line, and then Jakob Poeltl, who is a complete non-factor out there from the three-point line. If Ochai Agbaji's out there starting with this team, there's not a lot of shooting. Now, it does improve the defense. We do get a lot more, defensive prowess out there, be guys to lock in on the wing, be mobile, have some strength out there on the wing defense. But three-point shooting is a big issue if Ochai Agbaji is slotted into that starting spot. So that's why, even though, the defense is elite, certainly an upgrade over Grady Dick, I don't think there's a real chance, just given our current roster construction, for him to have a realistic shot at being a starter, assuming Grady Dick's healthy and, these types of guys are there. But Bruce Brown, I think with this injury, not being able to play in training camp, you got to earn your spots, you got to do these types of things. I think Bruce Brown is going to be coming off the bench for this Toronto Raptors team next season. And again, what does this mean for his future? Because Masai Ujiri picked up that option to really be an asset, to be a trade piece moving forward. Again, we let Trent Jr. walk with all that stuff in mind. And this is going to hurt Bruce Brown's trade value. This is the season where the Raptors could get a pick for him and stuff like that, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. That's why a lot of people are criticizing Masai Ujiri for not pulling the trigger on a Bruce Brown trade, because it seems like every day his value's going down and down and down and down the way he's been playing. Again, I think Bruce Brown is a good basketball player. I think he's a valuable piece. I think there are teams that are going to be certainly interested in Bruce Brown, regardless of what's going on, but means in return, right? Like, what are you going to get back in terms of what leverage do you have in these trade negotiations? As time goes on, again, Bruce Brown becoming a free agent, all of these types of stuff says fit with the Toronto Raptors. Him having knee surgery does affect that trade value, but it also could help it, right? We saw how poorly he played last season dealing with these knee issues, so maybe he gets things cleared up, even if he misses a few games at the start of the season. If he's looking A-okay, if he's looking 100% healthy, then maybe this ends up being a positive for the Toronto Raptors to fully get healthy and see a new and improved Bruce Brown. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about everything that's going on regarding this team. How are you feeling about the squad entering next season? Anyways, I'm signing out. Cheers.